Bro, I swear to God, it is getting dark as fuck in here, man. But yeah, I'm back. It's been a few days since I recorded. And, recently I've been feeling a little bit of burnout when it comes to content on YouTube. I got the fan in the background, which is for my lights, and it makes a lot of noise in these videos, but I try and talk over it, which you guys have probably noticed quite a lot already. And the title of this video is I can tell if she likes you from how she is by herself. And so for this, it's like, if you're going through something with your girl, like say you got into an argument and now she's, detached herself from you. She's not really trying to get into direct contact with you, you know, because of recent conflict you've had. She wants some alone time. That's cool. I think every person, every woman, every different being on the planet has their different way of like expressing, their emotions and when they're going through a rough time. It's going to look different for everyone, slightly different for everyone, and with some people, majorly different, right? I'm the type of person where it's like, if I have an argument with my partner or something, like, I kind of like, even if I'm the one to cause the argument, I'm also the one to try and resolve the situation. And I can go from being kind of a bit argumentative, maybe for a few minutes or for a few hours at a time within a single day to, and this is usually, and if this happens, say at the start of the day, by the end of the day, I'm also usually the same person to try and close things out by apologizing or, reviewing at least how I could have done what I did, maybe in a better way, so it wouldn't lead to the friction that we feel between each other now that you're offended. And obviously, I'm repentant for that. And I wanted to express that because I've just very quickly, I guess, come to the conclusion of whether I was righteous or not, or whether I wasn't. And sometimes obviously I'm not righteous. And if I usually I'm able to recognize in a situation where if I have acted in a way that would be righteous or wrongful, right? And I'm quick to recognize both of both of my personalities, right? The duality within my personalities. I can recognize when I'm being righteous, when I'm being wrong, vengeful, or when I'm being, when I'm in the wrong. And from that point, I can quickly address it and say, look, I felt this way, which made me, take a path of doing you wrong, but I know that I was wrong, right? And I want to do you right. But the other person at that point perhaps doesn't yet trust that that is my true intention after, what I've just done or what I've just haven't done or what I've said, what I haven't said, whatever, right? So, and I think, obviously girls are very emotional, and, it's like, I know that if I'm doing something that, it would hurt me in reverse, then obviously it's going to hurt her. So it's like, sometimes I might do something in the moment that I know for a fact is going to cause some pain, but maybe because I'm feeling pain in that moment. So it's not for no reason, but where I'm placing that pain is a little bit, I'm not at fault for feeling, I'm not at fault for feeling pain or being in pain, but I am at fault for how I execute it, and whether it's transmuted or executed correctly or not, right? Whether it's put into something productive or into something destructive, and we have lapses in judgment and moments where we'll put something that could turn out to be productive, and we opt for the destructive option, which, is something that we can't 100% avoid, within relationships and connections with people. They're going to have, trial and testing moments where they break down. But, in moments like that, you've got to have a mindset of where you're like, okay, but over the long term, can this be built back up again? Or is this just going to stay broken down and never develop and evolve from this moment? Because I might say something and be perceiving something to be something different from what and you know, my perception is. What the intent was different, but perhaps the way the person executed it was questionable. So I had to, um, I guess, stand on business, you know, on my Justin Bieber stuff, and put my foot down. And then, you know, as it turns out, perhaps, you know, okay, I was just missing it, and I was just only seeing it from my perspective. And if I saw it from other person's perspective, I could have reached some type of, I guess, compromise, you know, so that everything would be cool. But everything can't be cool all the time, and sometimes you need to just pop off, you know, so that you can realize that, oh, okay, I didn't know this when I did that, but now I do, and it can be corrected. And it's like, it's cool having that realization, and then being able to like grow from that and not repeat the same mistakes. And so, you know, but that was a bit of detailed and extra information aside from what the purpose of this video is. But the purpose of this video is like, you know, if she's by herself and, you know, you're wondering, okay, I've had this argument, I had this split or you know, temporary departure from each other, we're not really talking like that, and you're wondering, did she really even like me the whole time, or was she just like speaking to someone for the sake of it, for attention, or because I had something other external like status or something, or you know. And it's like, as men, it's hard to figure out a lot of the times if women like us, because we don't like get the same options. So when we do get someone that seems to be like a woman that seems to even be just slightly different from the rest, we're like, oh, she's the one, you know. And a lot of the times I would say that, you know, I would say that she is the one, but you just have to nurture the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people aren't perfect, you know. Your girl's not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect as the man. You know, so you didn't meet each other when you were perfect, you know, no matter how much it might have felt that way because of like the honeymoon phase, or, you know, just the novelty of what it's like at the beginning of speaking to someone and building the connection for the first time, finding out all these different things. It's cool, you know. And then it seems like the more you get to know, the less you actually like the person. But you got to understand that it's just, you know, it's something that you got to find ways to still love the person and look at their good side, right? And know that they have like a bad side, but be like, okay, am I willing to accept it regardless anyway or not? And then, you know, you figure that out. But I think it depends what their bad side is, you know. If they're completely disregarding of the relationship openly and publicly, and you have material evidence, I guess that at that point you have enough to be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't engage or entertain this, and I perhaps should just exit while I can. Okay. But if it's not that, and you maybe just feel something from time to time, it's not really justified enough for you to completely, you know, disengage and disassociate from the relationship like it never happened. Only with material evidence is that where I can be like, okay, yeah, you know, you should go and perhaps look elsewhere or seek something else aside from this. But if again, if it's just a feeling, man or woman, you feel something, investigate that feeling. You know, why do you feel like that? Is this something that you're doing? And then also, why do you feel like that? What specifically are they doing to make you feel like that? And perhaps just address it to them and say, look, I'm feeling this because of this within myself, but then also this that you're doing. And then you can reach like, you know, some level of harmony to the point where you at least both understand each other, and then figure out where you're going to move from there. And this is something that takes some time into a relationship. And, you know, when you have blow ups on each other, it's not the end of the world, you know? So it's like, I'm going through a recent blow up where she's blocked me on Instagram, right? But on WhatsApp, we're still talking, but it's not consistent, you know? But I'm still there. So I'm like, okay, it's salvageable, but I did hit a nerve pretty hard, because she never really blocked me before unless I'd blocked her previously. And then she would just kind of do the same to be petty, right? Because she was like, damn, you blocked me. I thought we were okay. But it was just something I didn't really explain. But I felt the way. That's why I initially blocked. And so then she would just do the same back as a rebuttal. This time, but I didn't block her back. So it's like, when she unblocks me, I'll just be there, you know? But I'm like, okay, I'm focused on my own things and I can trust her. It's not our first blow up. We've had a couple, you know, we've had times where we didn't speak for even a month, you know, and a few weeks. So it's been a few days as well. So it's been a couple of times, but but it's like this time it seems like I don't know. This time it seems like it's harder, but also it seems like she's more hurt this time, but at the same time, I'm in a better place in my life in general. So it's like, it's a bit weird where I feel better, but she feels worse this time. So whereas it's like I was feeling better and I was feeling worse and she was feeling better. So it's the dynamic is kind of switched around a little bit and done a bit of like a 180, but it's just all interesting and it's like I'm saying this to say as well, it's like, okay, sometimes I might snoop around on other social medias to see what's she doing, like as of recent. And it's like, she's not doing anything that, that would have me like, oh my God, maybe I've got to leave, right? It's more like, it's like, okay, she's kind of sad. She's like trying to cheer herself up, trying to look beautiful, all that type of stuff, and show that she's beautiful. That's cool. But then she's also got this other side. Apart from being happy and trying to present that image of happiness, she's also got this other side where she's sad and she's showing the sad side too. And she's like, damn, like, you can't really trust guys. Niggas ain't shit. And it's like, but she's saying niggas ain't shit because of me. So I'm that nigga, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at least you're saying that because of me. And it's like, okay, so I know there's still some love there. And it's just like, she's just hurt, right? So it's like, for now, what's she saying? Niggas ain't shit, For now, she's like, I can't wait to get ready for the summer. The summer makes me happy. I feel most beautiful in the summer. Cool. So I'm like, all right, okay, whatever, like, that's life. But there's nothing that instantly grabs me. It's like, oh, because she's not posted up with another guy. She's not posting about another guy. So I'm just here like, okay, like my position is still there. I still have a chance. It's like, I'm going to give her the space that she needs to get over that. And perhaps she may never get over it, but my belief is that she will. I feel like also internally, I really feel like I had a conversation with God or the universe, something inside of me. There was just this overbearing voice that called me and it was just like, you know what, it's salvageable, wait it out, Yes, you've been going in a bit of downhill spiral and it led to this blow up, but like everything before was good and it can go back to that. You got to give it patience. This is just the way she processes. Allow it, I'm like, all right, yeah, that's true. And, been in situations like this before. So I'm going to move similarly in hopes that, it also reverts back to, something that is more, something that's more, something that returns back to, I don't know, something more stable or like happy or just something where we're talking more consistently again. And I know that'll happen, right? I consider all possibilities because I'm not this person where I'll be like, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky and everything's just going to work out fine. Like, no, things can be fucking terrible, but like, I'm able to tap into the pessimistic and optimistic side. And that's what you need as a man, especially to function in this life. Even as a human being, as a woman too, you're going to need that, Know that the pessimistic exists, but always hope for optimistic. That's the way I think is a healthy way to live. And, to know if she fucks with you, it's like, and fucks with you in a good sense where she's not fucking you over. She actually wants to fuck with you as a person, So it's like, if she's fucking with you or she's finessing you, if she's finessing you, the minute y'all have a blow up, a disagreement about something, she'll probably either completely cut you off, you won't be able to find any way to contact her at all, or if not that, you will have a way to contact her, she won't cut you off, but she'll just start, transmuting her energy towards a different guy. And it's going to be visible that she's with a different guy too, and she might try to hide it for a while, but she's going to end up exposing herself, if you give it time and you just keep up to date with what she might be doing from time to time, you'll end up seeing something like she's holding another guy's hand while in a restaurant and eating steak, and you know what's going on there. Like after that, she's she's busting down the steak, all in her face, and then after that, she's getting bust down in another way in the bedroom, and you're just like, well, I know what this leads to, so. But if so, if that's your situation, then I would be like, yeah, it's over, my friend. Like whatever you had, obviously doesn't exist anymore, and if you want it to exist, you're probably going to have to put a larger offer than whoever's offering her whatever they're offering as of the current moment. But if it's not like that, and she's just, like trying to uplift herself, but you can clearly see she's still sad. So that's where you're like, okay, I got a chance, right? Because, all I need is to give her space to get over that. And then we'll see if she comes back or not. Like, it's her choice, but we ain't forcing her, but we're going to let her know we actually give a fuck, and we hope to see her come back around. That's pretty much it. I feel like, that's all you can do as a man, and it's not really simpy behavior, but it's just letting your letting your presence be known, not forgotten. So if she does go on to forget it anyway, then it's a conscious decision, and it's not unconscious because you didn't say anything, or you just became avoidant completely because you felt as though that you were in the right in the argument and she wasn't listening and all this type of stuff. Like, at some point, yeah, I feel that in the moment when I'm going through it, but at some point I forget about that, and I'm like, you're still my bitch. Like, you're still my girl, my wife, my everything, right? My Eve. And I'm like, I'm going to let you know I want you. And so what a girl does by herself is more important than what she does when you're around her, because when you're in and around each other, right? Yeah, it can be great. Fireworks are being lit up and let off, and it feels like an explosion of chemicals going on inside the both of you, and it's fucking great. I know being around her makes you hard, and you get flustered, and she gets flustered off the fact that you're flustered, and now it's great, it's amazing. Like, like it's hard to put into words, like when you're really when you're around a woman that you fucking love as a man. But just because you love her doesn't mean she fucking loves you as well. And it's the ideal scenario that she would, but it's not always the case. And when you're around her, you're not going to know this, because if she loves you, you're going to feel in love. If she doesn't love you, you're going to feel in love, because she's going to act like she does to get what she wants, which is not the entire version of you, but just something specific about you that she wants. Like, she only wants a kid, or she only wants money, or she only wants your image. Like, but she doesn't want everything else that comes with that, like the struggle, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, the different points of view that you have, so your belief system, all this type of stuff, right? She don't want all of that. She just wants something specific, and usually, doesn't have a sense of spiritual. It's not based in like anything spiritual, but it's usually based in something that's like more, I don't know, materialistic, you know what I'm saying? So a mix of both. Obviously all women are going to have, or a good woman, I would say, not all women, but a good woman would have like a healthy mix of both she's looking for in you, like the spiritual and physical nature. But a woman who's only interested in the physical nature, well, she's using you for something 99.9 times out of 10. And a woman who's only interested in the spiritual nature, also I would say, is using you for something 99.9 times out of 10, right? So it's like she's got to be invested both ways. That's how it's actually real. Because I feel like we live in two different planes in this reality, which is the physical and the spiritual. That's my belief. So, and it's great when you're around her, when she's around you. But again, you don't know if that just, if that dignifies that she loves you or not, or signifies that she loves you or not. That's a better word, So it's like, in order to signify whether she loves you or not, you got to see what her actions are like outside of when she's in and around your presence. When she's alone, when she's around her friends, when she's around her family, when she's out and about in public, like without you on private, without you, how's she acting? What kind of pictures is she taking and uploading? All this type of stuff. Compared to what she sends you and tells you, like you've got to know the difference. There has to be like a stark difference there. If there isn't, and everything she tells you and says to you, she's saying in public and telling in public as well, then it's like, hey, like she don't really, you don't have a special place with her. You're just part of the general, populace that exists in and around her anyway, that orbits in and around her and in the world in general, right? But when you're more than that, you can feel it, and you see it based off of the difference, the way she interacts with you and with the world. So really the main indicator, overlooked indicator, underrated indicator as to view, you need to view it from the outside looking in as a man sometimes and be like, oh, okay, I can see that she fucks with me or not. You know what I'm saying? Because, if she's, as I said, if she's like posted up with other men, you know what I'm saying? Like in real life, she's posting herself with other men, doing activities with other men, or, posting herself extremely provocatively. She could post herself provocatively to a degree because that's part of her nature. Like sex is part of both of our nature, men and women, so like we both do it. Like, let's not, even men do it, we lift, put on muscle, we wear tight things on purpose to make certain things look bigger, if we want to spice things up, so men and women can do it. It's really not like exclusive to women, right? To be provocative in nature, it's human thing to be able to do. So it's just like, all right, but is that the only part of her, or is there more, right? So I think I've covered that in its entirety, and I think I've went beyond the surface at least, and confidently I can say that I went beyond the surface of exploring this. And if a woman fucks with you, you'll be able to get a more clearer picture, opposing to what people actually might think when you look from the outside in versus when you're looking from like the inside out, because you'll really see the real her, right? When it's unfiltered and when she can just completely be herself anytime, anywhere, you'll be like, okay, so you'll be able to say, okay, all right, okay, I know who you really are, and then you can compare and contrast that back to yourself and the way she treats you and see whether, okay, is she acting with me then? Because if she's treating me like everybody else, she's just acting. Because she's just trying to see how much value she can gain from as many people as possible. But if she's not treating me like everybody else, then you have to understand and look, okay, she treating me worse or better than everybody else? That's the difference, right? And if overall she's treating you better, she might treat you a little bit worse in the sense that if you hurt her, go through a period of like a breakup or something, that's understandable, okay? Like, there are going to be frustrations. Sometimes you two are not going to see the same thing, certain things the same way all the time. And then if she's hurt, she's going to obviously feel like not great towards you, but at least feel like somewhat neutral to the outside world. So obviously you're going to feel like everyone else is getting better treatment, but that's only temporary. And again, as long as it's everyone else and it's not something specific, like it isn't another specific guy outside of yourself as a guy, then you can be like, well, okay, it's not to another specific guy, but it's just to the world or whatever. Whatever. I can reel her back in when the storm passes. And if she's treating you better, on average, again, it's better. It's only in the time of the breakups where it's going to be worse for a temporary period. But on a more permanent basis, it should be that she's treating you better overall than how she's treating everyone else. And again, everyone else is going to get the general neutral treatment, regardless of how she's feeling towards you, whether she's feeling positive or negative. That's also another way to know if she's a good person, and then also to know if she's treating you better or worse on average, to know if she's a good woman, right? So this gets very nuanced and technical, but I hope y'all understood this, and I'm gonna put it out. And yeah, man, y'all gonna watch this back a few times for real.